temperature is higher. This is how they got their name, the butcher bird, in the first place, since they're the only shrike that practice this larger technique, which is placing their meat on hooks like actual butchers.
Both of these techniques are perfected with practice from a young age. Newly fledged loggerhead shrikes imitate behaviors like hawking or impaling without the actual prey. They even chase around their own parents to practice hunting. That's a whole new flavor of teenage angst. Despite their ruthless hunting behaviors, males of this species are generous lovers.
Hello and welcome to What's the Buzz with Maya Atkinson tonight. We are going to see what we can do to annoy her. So let us know how our volume is, 'cause I don't want my volume or her volume to annoy you. So, and when we
Oh yeah.
start getting into these videos where I'm what my intentions with this show is to annoy my friends by making
I
them
see Trump's
consume
face.
content. Yeah.
So, like, I'm already annoyed. Thanks, though.
Yeah, this so there's a reason that I'm doing this now because this was something that came out like 2017. This series that we're talking about that Donald Trump is this time traveler, right?
He's
But
a time
we'll
traveler.
yeah we will get
Can he
into
go back
that.
to his own time?
I don't want to give any spoilers about how this turns out, but let's first for anybody watching who doesn't know who Maya is, why don't you introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah, I am Maya. I am the chick in, I think, all of your side chats. Is there a non-streamer in the house? Oh my God.
Yeah, you got. It's like when you're doing when you're playing a set when you're a
Hmm.
musician and the only people in the audience are other
Or other
musicians
musicians,
that are
yeah.
waiting for their sets. Those were always the best kind
So
of parties, though.
Spooky saying that my sound is much better than Brady. Does that mean I'm like too loud?
I means I can turn myself up like this and balance it out. So there we go.
All right.
A
Work
little
it
under the
out.
water.
Do I sound do I sound like I'm underwater?
No, they said
Because me
I
and
sound
my
like I'm underwater.
no, because like I was well, I've been breaking up my videos, and
Mhm,
I'm listening to them back, and I'm like saying to my son because he also streams professionally, and I'm like, why do I
mhm.
sound like I'm in a bathroom? And so he took like 30 minutes, like reconfiguring everything, and he's like, oh, you're talking into the back of your mic. Like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Like, okay, okay.
I did that with Amber when I was when I got my very first mic. Before that, I was using the mic on my laptop, which always sounds awful. Like no matter what,
Hmm.
there's no way to make that sound good. When I first got I got a mic like this. It was like this one, but it wasn't this one.
Hmm.
Um, and I had it backwards when I first started, and then I had it pointed like I was talking into the top of it because that's how I always
Yeah.
the only microphones I ever used was like stage mics and stuff.
Right.
So
Same. I didn't
yeah,
know. They said that he's like, yeah, this is good right out of the box. You don't have to touch it. And I'm like, all right, deal. And like, no, this is not what's up. Like, because Telltale, I don't know if you saw
mhm,
his stream the other day. Like, some people were like, no, take the background off. And I didn't realize he was like legit streaming in his living room. And I'm like, okay, I'm in my bedroom, which has got to be smaller than his living room. Why does he sound like he's a radio booth DJ? And I sound like
mhm,
I'm in like a laminate bathroom. Um,
yeah,
and yeah, I guess if you're talking to the back of your microphone, that'll do it.
yeah. You're getting the reverb back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I like this microphone. I had this set up for a while. It didn't sound too bad. Here, the last few times I've streamed, this kind of sounded echoey and whatnot. So
Hmm.
I'm not sure
No, but
what's going on with it.
sorry, I'm listening. I just
Mhm,
wanted to tell you, but I have ADHD brain and my meds have
mhm.
worn off, just so fair warning. But I am loving the wigs. Like, you're
Oh,
really rocking
yeah.
that.
Yeah, this one looks really good. I haven't gone a day without wearing it. I got it. It's so cute.
Same.
I love, yeah, I love the just doing the loose ponytail with it. It's comfortable. I want to say hi to everybody. By the way, we haven't even said hi, and all our
Yeah,
friends
I
are out
just
there. We just mentioned they're all content creators, and they're like, oh, let's not show them. Well,
why
we can
not?
start with Titan because Titan's
Oh,
not a content creator, right? Titan has,
well, Titan has one video, and he will let you know. He's like,
yeah,
"Hey, I have that video,"
he
which
says,
was done for him by Nerdy Rodent on his birthday, apparently. And no, and everybody should check it out. It's an awesome video.
yeah, he says, subscribe to my channel and never have to worry about me uploading pesky content to annoy you. What,
No, you will have to worry about me uploading pesky content. I just re-uploaded one for tomorrow. I'm kind of excited about. It's hilarious. But I'm
yeah,
sorry. Hi Titan. Hi Spooky. I love Spooky. Like,
yeah,
is it?
Spooky's great.
I don't know if it's possible to
Oh, did I lose
Oh,
you?
I'm sorry. No, sorry. ADHD meds are
Did
off.
you did you start
Everything's a
did you start
squirrel.
reading something?
Yes, I got a
You start
text
reading something
message,
in the chat.
and it was
Oh,
just like, "Who's streaming?"
yeah,
I'm
we
bad.
got
Bad.
we, we got Jay and we got Aunt Jer and we got Germania. So we got good people out there, like you said, Spooky, Jay Pasick. I think I already said that. Michael Granado, good to see you this evening. We are
Yay.
happy to be entertaining you. What's up,
Yay.
Logan Fisher?
Logan.
Yeah, good folks all around. Scott Duke just showed up in here too. Hey, you
Yeah.
Scott. Good evening. Uh,
Hey, Scott.
so yeah, people were rolling in, but let's get this started. So
All
I
right. Who's
just
gonna piss
re
me off?
yeah, I was just recently reintroduced to this idea. I'd heard it way back then, but I wasn't like
Of pissing
into
off your
it.
friends?
Yeah,
Oh,
well
so it's
of
like older than time.
yeah, older than time of doing a Trump time travel thing. I actually thought about this in the past because
Ah.
I've seen this before. I'm like, yeah, but it's not topical anymore. And then something happened that brought it back to the forefront, and you'll understand once we get to the end of what we're going to watch here. But
Okay.
let's move on over to that, and I'm going to let's see. We're going to share this. Let me know if for sure if you can hear the sound and stuff. Okay. Um,
Indeed.
or what's this one? Proof. There we go. And then we're going to flip these. Okay. So here we got some proof that Donald Trump is a time traveler. All right. And I'm just going. This is the rabbit hole which I've covered before. So they
Oh,
have some.
that's the name of the channel?
Yeah, they have like conspiracy videos. Yeah, let me make sure we down to show you guys. Yeah,
Oh,
the rabbit hole.
I do love conspiracy theories.
So yeah, this comes up in the Dennis Hoban feed. All right, here we go. Let's pull this on up here and
Time travel.
I'm sorry.
The idea that you could somehow step back into the past has floated around for centuries. With
here.
folklore and modern science combined, how is it that such a feat hasn't been achieved yet? Or has it?
Can you hear it?
I can hear it perfectly.
Okay, good.
And has the evidence of it been hidden under our very noses this entire time? Today, we're talking about the possibility that the 45th President of the United States was in fact a time traveler.
Woo!
In 1905, when Albert Einstein released his theory of relativity that talked about the idea that time is an illusion, a flurry of excitement followed. Was he saying that time travel was a possibility? Is the human experience more profound than we could have ever imagined? Well, yes. But Einstein wasn't the only scientist working on such out-of-the-box breakthroughs. Born during a lightning storm in Croatia on July 10th, 1856.
I don't know why they included the Einstein bit about this because
Is it to give it more credibility?
yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they include the next guy that they're going to talk about here, but I don't know what Einstein. This guy,
You
the
know,
next guy they're talking about, was born in Croatia, July
okay.
10th, 1856, during a lightning storm. So who are they talking about? You got any guesses? Croatia.
In 1856, I couldn't even. I can tell you who's in Croatia today.
This is probably the most famous Croatian I could think of too. Nikolai Tesla.
Oh, wait, in 1856?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Let's go.
Nikola Tesla made a name for himself in science through his work and was famed for being before his time. From a young age, Tesla was able to mentally store logarithmic tables as well as entire books. He quickly picked up new languages, and he could function well on little sleep for days and nights. He was 19 years old and enrolled in the Polytechnic Institute at Graz in Austria to study electrical engineering. where he soon made a name for himself as a top student. Tesla set sail for New York City in June 1884 and arrived with just $4 in his pocket, along with a letter of recommendation for Thomas Edison from Charles Batchelor, a former employer, which purportedly said, "My dear Edison, I know."
So yeah, we got to tell you the whole backstory of who Nikolai Tesla is for this Trump time travel story is
This is kind of crazy.
apparently a
So,
part of the lore. So if you
so
already know,
yeah, no, I haven't seen this one yet. So, like,
Mhm.
is like Trump like the reincarnation of Nikola Tesla? I'm
No, we're
interested
gonna
in.
get there. Yeah, it gets there
Okay,
in just
okay.
this one's not that long. There's a couple of things I want to. There's another video I want to cover. I just want to get this part out too.
Two outstanding men, and you are one of them. This young man is the other one. Edison, who was initially skeptical, set up a meeting, after which Tesla detailed the engineering work he was undertaking. In a short period of time, Tesla told Edison he had been able to improve the motors Edison had tasked him with. Tesla, however, resigned his job and went on his own way after Edison refused to pay him for his efforts. In 1885, Tesla found that time could be bent.
Yes, we all know Thomas Edison was a total d-bag. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
historical. That's
Historical.
Through magnetic fields, which, in theory, could create doors, allowing us mere mortals to walk through and go back and forwards through space and time. Experimenting on
What?
himself,
that's a leap that doesn't doesn't seem to
Um,
hold up. It's just like, oh,
whoa.
let's
Did I miss a citation?
right. It's like Nikola Tesla did or Nikola Tesla did these coils for electricity. Oh yeah, and they opened gates to the other dimensions. By the way, don't worry, they're just dead. We're not going to explain anything more about this.
Okay.
Tesla worked with high voltages of electricity in order to investigate his theory. By March of that year, he had a
Let's read this whole thing because he's just going to give us this little excerpt. So the experiment with Tesla's coil were not without their dangers. One evening, the inventor, even after taking his normal precautions, claimed to have been almost killed today after receiving a 3.5 million volt shock from one of his machines. I almost forgot to tell you. Speaking of
Mhm.
3.5 million volts, you know what got hit by that much electricity over this last weekend?
Okay.
The St.
Wait.
Louis Arch.
What?
Yeah, it got hit
No,
by
I
this
missed that.
like the highest. I shared it on Facebook. I found it on Facebook and shared it. So yeah, I'll send
I'm
it to you.
sorry.
We
Like
were just there.
we lost like a couple thousand Turks, and that like kind of took over the news.
Yeah,
I
no,
did
I
not
get it. I get it.
I did
I've
not
seen the
notice
footage
that.
of that stuff too. Yeah. Well, I did because I've been, I'm in the area,
Oh, you're in
so
the area, so yeah, it probably got a
that's
little
why
more
it makes the
attention.
news for me, right?
No, what made the news for me was this couple of one was a Florida man that tried to take on my state's power grid.
Oh, how'd that work out for them?
They're in jail.
Yeah.
Funny how that happens.
See, the sparks jumped 3 feet through the air, Tesla revealed, and struck me here on the right shoulder. I tell you, it made me feel dizzy. If my assistant had not turned off the current instantly, it might have been the end of me. As if it was, I have to show for it a clear mark on the right breast where the current struck and a burned heel from one of my socks where it left my body. So yeah, the current flowed through him. Interesting. But I don't know what this has to do with time travel. Where they pulled up this citation, highlighted him talking about almost being killed by getting hit by this, and now they're saying, oh yeah, he was. Well, they claiming he was sucked into a. I don't know. People get hit by lightning all the time.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a citation anytime now
Well,
because this is not common knowledge.
This citation right here is not anything to do with what they're talking about. That's why I
I'm just
wanted to
saying
stop it
though.
and show everybody. Yeah, just throwing some random
Oh,
factoids
I'm
about.
sorry. Did I have to qualify credible citations? Like, I forgot what we were doing.
It'll just
Super specific.
it'll just pan right through these too. It'll like these newspaper clips and citation clips without
Yeah,
like
and
stopping long
here
enough for
and
you to read
there,
anything.
here and there
Yeah,
throwing a picture of what do you call it? Not Thomas Edison. Well, him too, but
yeah, we
also
got
Albert
Thomas Edison.
Einstein. And if you have a picture of Albert Einstein while you're talking, that means that he corroborates everything that's coming out of your mouth.
Right. Tesla too. Tesla is the
Yeah, yeah,
te-
yeah. And
Tesla is
that's your
like
citation.
the edgier version of Einstein. When you want to get mainstream attention, you
Oh
quote
yeah, you got to throw that
Einstein,
name
and
out
then when
there.
you want yeah, and then when you want edgy boy attention, you quote Tesla. He was the held back by the man kind of guy. People act like he was yeah. I don't know what all. I know that Tesla did not do well at the end of his life, but they'll put these
Oh
quotes up
yeah.
here. So this highlight almost killed, like it's gonna sell us the point. Let's keep going. Let's see what they have to say.
Near-death experience. He would later reveal to a New York Herald reporter that he had been electrocuted by 3.5 million volts of electricity and was thrown into the air. His assistant had acted fast to shut off the power and save his life. But the experience changed Tesla forever. In the moments as the electricity surged through his body, he claimed to have had visions of the past, present, and future. And that
Where in that quote did he make that claim at all?
I no, I was just about to say, like, did I miss something? Like, I don't remember, uh, like anyone ever telling me that before.
Yeah, it's like so. It's like that he did have the near death experience, and he talked about it to reporters. But then they're like,
Well, I
"Oh
mean,
yeah, but
yeah, but everybody has a near death experience. They don't like suddenly become geniuses and like have psychic visions. I
hmm
mean, unless I'm missing something, do people with near death experiences all of a sudden become like credible psychics?
yeah, right." It's like because yeah, when you get electrocuted, it takes you to another dimension, right? The
I've heard
Trump
that.
dimension.
I've
Apparently,
heard that.
we're gonna visit here momentarily. Don't you worry. We're gonna make it to the Trump dimension before too long.
There's a
was when
Trump
he realized that
dimension.
his life's work had been accomplished.
hmm
KLM.
Or the Trump verse, we could call it. We'll decide that at the end here. But
Tesla passed away from heart failure whilst living alone at the New Yorker Hotel in January 1943. As soon as his death was made public, the Federal Bureau of Investigation ordered the Office of Alien Property to seize his belongings. The hotel's safe was also opened, and Tesla's life work was handed over to electrical engineering professor John Trump.
and this is true. This is Donald Trump's uncle that got yeah,
According to
this
rumors,
part's real.
Nikola Tesla was successful in developing a time machine before he passed away, and Trump was
According to rumors, that part, yeah, bullshit.
That he was wait,
He
that he
made a
was what?
time machine. He made a time
Oh,
machine.
right. Before he okay,
I
sure.
I can't even sometimes with this stuff, but
Well, I heard he
yeah,
made a lot of inventions before he died. I'm not and oh, and the government like confiscated all of them or something.
yeah, that's what they're saying. And the guy who got all the documents was John Trump. He was like an electrical engineer, which is Donald Trump's uncle.
Was he also
Or
a
yeah,
reptilian?
I don't know. Apparently, he was Dr. Tapioca Weasel's grandfather's friend. John Trump was.
Ah,
What a
yeah.
small world that we live in.
Yeah, that
As a
Dr. Tapioca Weasel, he's definitely Illuminati.
yeah, well, we already knew he was in on it because if you work in the science, you're already
Yeah, yeah.
chilling for NASA. I mean,
Goddamn
he might as
NASA
well have
shells.
NASA tattoo on his forehead at this point. Do you want to read this quote or do you want me to read it?
As a result of this examination, it is my considered opinion that there exists among Mr. Tesla's papers and possessions no scientific notes, descriptions of hitherto unrevealed methods or devices or actual apparatus which could be of significant value to the country or which would constitute a hazard in unfriendly hands. I can therefore see no technical
Or
or
military?
military reason why further custody of the property should be restrained or retained. Is are those all the words? I'm
Yeah, and
sorry, it's
So
Yeah,
this
I
is
agree.
basically saying that there was nothing of
Oh yeah.
scientific value found
Nothing
among
to
the
see here,
possessions.
folks. Nothing at all. Just keep it moving.
Was tasked with verifying if any of Tesla's work contained any ideas of significant value. Weeks later, Trump submitted
Oh, here's another one. It should be of no discredit to this distinguished engineer and scientist whose solid contributions to the electrical art were made at the beginning of the present century to report that his thoughts and efforts during at least the past 15 years were primarily of a speculative, philosophical, and somewhat promotional character, often concerned with the production and wireless transmission of power, but did not include new sound, workable principles, or methods for realizing such results. So yeah, um,
a report concluding that the papers were of speculative nature and no time machine existed. But what if
right?
Trump's report had all been a lie? What if something of value had been included within those papers, and he kept them to himself? Had Tesla unwittingly handed over a step-by-step guide to his life's work? A time machine. After that day, all of Tesla's papers and work mysteriously vanished, and to this day, no one has any idea what happened to them. Well, 74 years after John Trump was seen with Tesla's work, his nephew, Donald J. Trump, under the weirdest situation, became the 45th president of the United States. Could the Trumps have pulled off the plot of Back to the Future? Did
Did you
John
say
Trump play the role of Biff Tannen?
Was that
under the weirdest situation? Is that what he
I
said?
don't know.
Like he became president under like the weirdest situation, like a vote?
Right. Well, you know the thing about the 2016 election was that yeah, he went on and embarrassed the status quo Republican convention. He like embarrassed them, humiliated
I
them on
mean,
stage, so they didn't have any choice but to back him.
well, I mean that's because they're embarrassments, and
Yeah,
they did choices, and they chose none of them.
right. But people want to have. I guess the people who think it was so ridiculous that it had to be some kind of time travel plot. Which the American people can disappoint you, but that's just kind of what they are.
Stealing the time machine to benefit his future family. So where is all this coming from? Why is the theory out there that the Trumps were time travelers? Well, in 1889 through 1900, an obscure 3 books were released by author Ingersoll Lockwood, titled Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, Little Baron Trump and His Wonderful Dog Bulger, and the last book, ominously titled The Last President. In the tales of Baron Trump, the young German protagonist of these tales, Wilhelm Heinrich Sebastian von Trump, also known as Baron Trump, journeys throughout the globe and beneath the earth with his dog Bulger, encountering inhabitants of as yet undiscovered regions, before returning to Castle Trump.
And this is like a real series of stories too about this whole
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this.
yeah
There was like conspiracies about like Baron Trump being named after some kid in a book, and I guess this is the book.
yeah well sort of this is yeah I don't know that he's named after the kid in this book, but
Right.
the kid
No,
in this
no, most
yeah
likely not. But um, in the story,
hmm
it makes for great, I don't know, QAnon fodder. I don't know what they do.
yes, that's exactly what this nonsense could be uh, construed as. Let's see what else they say about it.
With a brain so large that his head doubled in size, Trump, like the president, wasn't a
Really?
particularly
Trump's brain.
Holy shit.
Oh, that's why he wears his hair like that, is to cover this giant brain. So part of this theory is also that Donald Trump and Barron Trump are the same person. Isn't that'd be so weird to raise a young version of yourself? You'd be like a
What?
stable time loop, right?
What is this thing? He looks like a lizard baby.
A lizard baby. Yeah, there's like no nose on this down here. Lizard baby Trump.
That is hideous. I'm sorry.
Uh, oh, Tapioca Weasel sent us a link to an interview too. Well, let's finish this one. So it's just got a couple more minutes left, and then we can pull that up. And I got another one we can look at too.
Cool.
Likeable character. The Trump family and characters appearing in these two novels have some strikingly similar connections. The first, the titular character Barone Trump, bears similarities not just through his name, but in illustrations too.
Similarities?
Yeah, they're saying that
I'm
this
I'm
guy looks like this guy. Looks like maybe this guy. I don't know about that. I don't think these two look very much alike.
I don't see it.
I think he looks more like his mom. I'm not even certain that I would believe that this. Well, like if I didn't know, if someone asked, "Do you think this is this kid's dad?" I would probably
I
say,
yeah, I don't.
But
Well, I'm trying to think of like when he was younger, maybe a little, but I guess I see it in the eyes.
yeah, yeah, I suppose you see the similarity between this thing. This,
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Trump and Barron. I'm like, I don't know. He's
yeah,
just really
I
old.
was, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
but like
wondering if you can see the
no,
similarity
like
between.
it just looks like a large baby. It's almost. I mean, it's comical that you would be like, oh no, yeah, there's similarities here. I mean,
I
you
would
see that.
love to see Donald Trump in this outfit, though. Don't get me wrong. This would make my day if he came out in public wearing something like this.
No, I
And
mean,
he's
okay,
like,
here's the similarities. They both have two eyes, two ears, a nose, and a mouth.
you
There you
know,
go. These are facts.
all right. Let me go see if I can find what our tapioca weaseled friend is sharing on Discord. I close my Discord usually because I mean it's noisy
Hmm.
when I'm streaming this ding ding all day.
Yeah,
Oh,
I turned my notifications off just because yeah, they're annoying when you're trying to stream.
all right, here we go. Let's pull this over here because he says it's uh, relevant to what we're watching now. So let me switch what I'm sharing here. This will look weird for just a second. Maybe not. It doesn't look too bad. So I'm just going to pull up all this stuff in front of it. So mm, there we are. All right. Let's see what couldn't wait until after class, Mr. Tapioca Weasel. Oh, this is long. Is there a
Holy
specific
moly.
is there a specific spot where I should look? Um, oh, it's for reference. Okay, yeah. All right, if we could come back to it. Sorry, I misunderstood. I'm always misunderstanding something. Here we go. Back to these people.
The Last President, Lockwood's third book, makes even more unsettling connections to the present. The book opens with a scene from a frantic New York City in the first few days of November, describing a state of uproar following the victory of an outsider
Oh, he
candidate
says go
who
to
was fiercely opposed.
11:25.
Police
Hold
officers
on.
shouted across the streets, telling city dwellers to stay
Ah,
indoors for the evening. The entire east side is
he said what?
11 minutes and 25. Wait, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Yeah, 11 minutes, I believe.
Okay, I'm sorry. You did give a timestamp. I missed it. I'm There we go. Let's try that again. 11 minutes. My hearing anything. Do you hear it, Maya?
Mm-mm. Axe.
Of course, I'm always going to be mixing something up. Just a second here. Why don't you have any sound? I don't know. Is that other video HiveScience?
Yeah. I mean, you have it in the
Is in
same
a state of
browser.
uproar. Massive mobs that are organized by anarchists and socialists
You
pose
hear
a threat to
that?
rob and destroy the homes of the.
Wait, it's paused.
Because this one has. This one has
Wealthy,
sound.
who have wronged and oppressed them for so long. The Fifth Avenue Hotel, which is located in New York City and is where Trump Tower presently stands, will be the first to experience the wrath of the mob. The story continues. Will the police arrive in time to save it? This demonstration is a stark reminder to the masses of protests that occurred shortly after Donald Trump's inauguration, even correctly guessing the streets where the masses would gather. The last.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was with sharing the other one. I'll try again after we're done with this one. There's only a couple minutes, or less than 2 minutes left on this one. So.
Well, it's from Dr. Tapioca Weasel, so it's probably just a virus.
Novel also
Yeah.
references.
Well, I imagine that it was just a troll. That's what you get when you trust a weasel.
I'm saying.
Is the Fifth Avenue
It was
Hotel,
in the name.
which is on the same street as Trump Tower. Since Fifth Avenue is a well-known area of New York and housed a number of upscale eateries, boutiques, and hotels since the late 1800s, this particular detail seems to be more of a reflection of the period it was written and less of a forewarning about the future location of Trump Tower. As well as this, in the third book, the unwanted successful politician also chooses someone for his cabinet, named Leif Pence, the same surname as Donald Trump's vice president.
I mean, is Pence like a bizarre last name or a weird last name? This is like the Lincoln Kennedy kind of correlation stuff, right? Just finding patterns in the way things are named and the way things.
I mean, I feel like they can find patterns in anything.
Well, and to think that if there's like the connections between Kennedy and Lincoln, if there's a connection with them, then it's more of a sociological connection of how we pick our leaders, what qualities they have, more so than a reflection of there being something weird and obscure about it. Like it would be a sociological experiment to say, hey, yeah, we're more prompt to pick people with this many letters in their names, or people that were born during this type of period, or whatever.
No, it's clearly the Illuminati overlords
right.
mind controlling.
That's why that sound wasn't working on that video. They were going to teach them to tell us the secrets of
that makes
time
so
travel.
much sense. There's just too much sense in the video. We can't air it.
Yeah.
Crack the code.
I'm on to you. I'm on to you.
Code cracked.
Conspiracy theorists believe the similarities are far too convenient, from predicting names to actual real-life events that would happen hundreds of years later. The books are too similar to reality to ignore.
I think I'm going to have to read these books.
No. I heard ignore and nothing else.
Yeah, so, just take my word for it. This is a dude, trust me type of moment. It's like you don't want to read this old Victorian literature. Just trust me.
No, like it's totally a book. It's an old book. Who would read it? Trust me, bro.
The last president. Well, that's already falsified anyway, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, because we have an actual legitimately elected president in office after that last one, who tried to make himself the last president, but and then there was only going to be a monarchy from there on out, and but God's elected second coming of Jesus was thwarted by the evil atheist.
Yep. The rise of Dark Brandon.
Yeah.
So, what side do you sit on? Did Tesla have a secret breakthrough? And through some twisted butterfly effect was the step-by-step guide unwittingly handed down to who would eventually become one of the most powerful men in the world.
Spoilers. No.
That was not convincing at all.
No, not at all. There's another one where this lady, I don't know, she doesn't look like she's convinced us, so I don't know if we're expected to be convinced by her. But let me grab that. See if the sound works on this one or not. Because this one just popped up in the feed when I was looking at this other one. I was like, she looks like she might have some interesting content. So here we go. This,
All right, hold on, guys.
this says proof in capital letters. So that's what sold me on it. Every time they say proof with capital PROOF, that's when you know it's legit. She's got some John Teeter stuff coming up too, which is also linked into this somehow. So yeah, let's get wild, guys.
Theory. Let's just get right into it, okay? The theory is that Donald Trump is a time traveler. I do conspiracy videos where I pretty much debunk them, and I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, oh, this is one of those stupid ones she's gonna debunk. No. This one is actually mind-blowing.
Has she even watched the video? Like, we're just like, no, he's totally a time traveler. How could it possibly debunk it?
Yeah, I don't know where she's going with this. Has nothing about this has been believable or even compelling to me so far. And I do this too. I debunk this kind of stuff for fun all the time.
How do you not debunk time traveler with no way to time travel? Like,
right.
Can we at least get a mechanism? If you were going to say time traveler, you've got to open up with the time traveling mechanism, right?
Right.
I mean, because the last video, at least it did that. Like, there's Nikola Tesla and Einstein's face, but like,
yeah, I don't know if she's gonna give us Einstein's face or not, but let's. I'm sure she'll link Tesla in on it. You can't tell this conspiracy theory without linking Tesla in. It's always Tesla. It's not Tesla, it's Elon Musk, but that's too recent for Trump, so here we go.
It's really surprising. So we're going to look at the theory. I don't know if it's true. You have to be the final judge, but it's pretty nuts. Now, I don't want to get into politics with this video. I want you to be able to watch this whether you're a Democrat or Republican or whatever. Whatever you are, this is just a really interesting theory. So many of you, I'm sure, have heard of Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was a Serbian...
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Vindicated!
I saw his face.
There he is.
The stream has credibility now.
Mm-hmm. Now everything she says is going to be true and backed up by Nikola Tesla.
Inventor who was actually born in Croatia in 1856. He was a super smart guy, was kind of known as a mad scientist because he did do some wacky stuff, including falling in love with a pigeon. Yes, true story. But the dude was also brilliant, and sometimes the most brilliant people are like kind of the oddballs. So he was...
I don't know about the pigeon thing. I'm going to need some citations on that too. You may have had a fondness, because I have a fondness for my little praying mantis that's on my microphone when I have one. I always form a bond with it, but I understand it's a praying mantis and it's going to die. Yeah.
But I mean, I've never heard this one before. Like, he fell in love with a pigeon. What happened?
Yeah, we're going to have to... I'm gonna have to find out more about that at some point.
Well, I mean, but his face is there, so I mean, he's just sitting there nodding, co-signing everything she's saying.
He's writing. That's what his other hand is doing. He's got one hand up like this, and the other one's writing down his signature.
I know, it's clearly stroking the pigeon.
He was definitely known as like this, crazy scientist who came up with really out there ideas. He was very interested in, space-time continuum, time traveling, really, really interesting out there things. Tesla was definitely a futurist, was focused on where we're going and just trying to break boundaries. And you may recognize his name from Elon Musk's company, Tesla. They make these sick cars that I want.
Didn't I say I said Musk too, right? I did say that.
Well, I mean, you can't have one without the other, I mean, because, Musk, I'm sure at the time this video was made, was like super cool. And you could only be like more
Oh
credible if you
yeah,
mentioned his name at all.
this was from 5 years ago, so this is right
Oh yeah.
before.
Oh, he
Well,
was all big and wrinkly brained back then.
he was everybody's favorite golden boy.
Want so bad, dream car, they're really cool, fuel efficient, and will probably be driving themselves one day. He in fact predicted self-driving cars like a long time ago. If you guys want me to do a whole video on a bunch of his predictions and just kind of go through them, similar to what I did with Baba Vanga,
Wait,
then
whose
yeah, let me know
predictions?
by giving this video a thumbs up. Anyway,
I'm thinking they're talking about Tesla's predictions.
Tesla made predictions?
He made predictions like technology predictions. Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
yeah, blueprinted. He tried to blueprint stuff. That's what he spent most of his later life doing, was like drafting
I was like, did we
ideas
jump
about.
into an Edward Casey vid? God.
Yeah, we're gonna get out there. I haven't made you annoyed yet, so I'm kind of frustrated. You've mostly just laughed. This hasn't annoyed you.
this guy had balls. He used himself in his own experiments, even for time traveling. He had built his own time machine and had claimed that he was able to go into the immediate future and the immediate past. I don't think he was able to do anything too crazy, but I mean, that's crazy enough, right? If it even
Wait,
happened.
whoa,
He
whoa,
moved
his
to the
face
US.
is gone. So she's losing a lot of credibility, and all I'm hearing is claims.
Yeah, about that's the where does this all this time? Oh yeah, so it's confirmed that Tesla will learn how to time travel, but just a little bit. Where's all
No,
this?
yeah, like into the future and into the past. He could do all of
Just a
it.
little bit. Just a little bit though.
Yeah, no,
Not
like he
very
couldn't
much,
go too
Maya.
far into the future, because the ability to go far into the future, like that's like super
Don't
duper
be
advanced.
silly. Don't be silly. Just a few minutes. Maybe go. Maybe and maybe a little bit backwards. Maybe backwards like 7 years. Let me do that. Can I do that? I have some stuff
Time
I have to
travel?
do.
I mean,
Yeah, I
if you
still.
can, could you? Like,
Yeah. Actually, I have a little bit further back than I think I would want to go. I might want to go forward too. Would you rather go forward or backwards in time if you had a choice?
no, you could not pay me enough to relive all this bullshit. But I want to go far enough into the past where like all of our lawmakers are dead. I mean, into the future.
Yeah,
And I'm hoping that like we've spawned some like genius babies that can see past all the bullshit.
I'm in favor of genius babies. That sounds like something I could get on board with. Yes.
Oh, Purple's got a good point though. In order to lose credibility, she would have had to have had some to begin with.
Well, I
Yeah.
usually try to give somebody the benefit of the doubt when they first come on
I mean, I
camera.
would have if she hadn't just said I can't debunk time traveling from jump. Like that
Mhm.
was I don't know. I was ready for the airlock right then.
Yeah, you have to have a mechanism. So when you're looking at claims like this, if you dive into it and can't find any credible source for a mechanism,
Oh,
you're
Doc's
either
coming
leaving
out
it
swinging. No, he's like windmilling. Like Tesla did not time travel. Look, that is a bold claim, Doctor.
and take that from a time traveling tapioca weasel because if
No, well, she is saying that he definitely did a little travel.
yeah, backward and
So,
forward. So who are you
yeah,
gonna trust? Look at this.
right.
Look at this lady. She has
Like, look, do you have Tesla's face to lend credibility to your claim, Doctor?
well, and if you look here, I mean, we got a tray full
Oh,
of rocks.
oh goodness. Is
Um,
that Sage?
I don't think
Did she
so.
just sage the room before she made a prediction? Oh my God. Like
Um,
I don't know how you top that. Like the room has been cleansed. She's
I wonder
only
what she's
hitting.
drinking though. Is she is this
Hmm. Ah.
red wine? Maybe.
It's only supposed to be bottled water, spring water from Sweden, or else it's not clean.
No.
In the late 1800s, and when he died in 1943, the US actually took all of his stuff. And you guys aren't going to believe this, but the name of the office that seized all of Tesla's information, all of his work, everything he was working on, everything he's doing, was actually the Office of Alien Property. Yes, that is seriously what it's called. You can look it up. So, once it got in the hands of them and the FBI, they wanted to hire someone who knew what they were doing to look through all of Tesla's work, all of his notes, and see if
Why?
there's anything that they could possibly.
that so alien property is not. I mean, it's not like it's
Well, I mean, it's not that
talking
the
about
aliens are coming back to get
extraterrestrial.
it. Like, if
Yeah.
the aliens wanted it, they would have just taken it before he died. Like, why would you
Mm,
leave it with a mere human if you're an alien and you have shit and you want it? Like, it's clearly alien trash. So,
right.
which means government property.
Hmm.
I mean, it's the United States government, right? It doesn't matter if you're like a citizen or another sovereign government. If the United States government wants it, it is the property of the United States government, and that's just how that goes.
Weaponized, just like ideas, stuff like that. And they actually hired a guy, and he was an MIT professor who was very, very smart. And he was hired to go through all of Tesla's things and see if there was anything, any ideas that were there that could be used. And this guy was none other than John Trump. Yes, you are hearing that right. This was actually Donald Trump's uncle. And this is fact. You can look at.
Yeah. Is this him? Is this the guy who did this, Dr. Tapioca Weasel?
I
Is
don't.
this the
Is that
face?
the face of the time traveling Trump uncle?
Trunkle?
Trunkle. I don't know. The other guy was much younger. That's
Yeah. And
gonna have
who's
to
it?
do it.
Hmm.
Well, the other video, whatever.
Well, he
Um.
was supposed to be Biff Tannen, though, is what the last video said. So he would have been old
Ah.
man to go back in time when he was younger.
Okay. Okay.
So how many Trumps are there? How many of them are the same people?
Too many.
Are Barron and Donald the same? Because Barron's like a full head taller than Donald Trump now. They can't
Hmm.
be the same person.
No, 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 no. No, they can't be the same person because you can't like see yourself in the past or the future, or else like time, the fabric
Destructive.
of time. Yeah, like
Space time continuum, right? I remember that
right,
from Back to
right.
the Future.
Yeah, yeah, that, all that. Because that was a scientific documentary.
Well, it's how time travel works, right?
I'm saying it's the only. Hey, it's all we got. But they did not put Einstein or Tesla's picture in there to verify their credibility. So now I'm wondering.
Now we're depending on the credibility of John Trump from MIT. I'm not going
But
to judge him
Doctor,
based on,
but Doctor Tapioca Weasel does have a good point. He has a stock image weasel to lend credibility to his claim.
yeah. I gotta say, I'm convinced by that too. I love cute animals.
It up. His name was John
Hmm.
Trump. He was actually a very, very smart scientist, very intelligent. When Trump talks about how his family's super smart, he wasn't lying. His family
Oh, for
has
fuck's
actually a
sake.
lot of smart people in it. He was actually elected to the American Academy of
The
Arts.
smart.
A
Okay, when she
family,
says smart, does she mean wealthy? I don't understand what this
right?
means.
A
Like,
family
I'm
is
gonna
not
need to see an
smart.
IQ test, ma'am. And I'm not saying that IQ tests are the only like ways to verify how smart you are, but like, I don't know. I still trying to figure out where she's getting this.
And
Like,
scientist
I mean,
in
it'd be one thing
19.
if she was like a respected journalist and she was like, okay, this is what I found, and here's where you can go to get the information. But I mean, she's just talking.
Yeah, I didn't see if there was any citations. We'll look
I
and
like the
see.
other video because at least it like it put words on like that looked old on fake paper, and it which probably if you went back to, I'm not even sure those things were credible sources, but let's say they were. I'm pretty sure none of that stuff would be in there. Not that we could ever know because none of their sources were linked in the video. But they tried. They gave it
I
the old
want to
scouts try.
I want to point out that this channel has 3.47 million subscribers. Just
How many
just
views on
girl.
this video?
This video has 223,628 views. So yeah,
50, as
I
well as the
weep for
National Academy of
mankind.
Engineering in 1977, plus all of his degrees, master's degrees, science. I mean, this guy has a long record of just proof that he is smart, okay? He was considered to be a pioneer in the field of high voltage machinery. During World War II, he was working on nuclear stuff, and since he worked in radiation, he actually developed an X-ray for cancer patients and saved multiple lives. So anyway, John Trump was in charge of going through all of Nikola Tesla's stuff. And he reported back to the government that there was nothing there. In fact, his official statement was this: Tesla's thoughts and efforts during at least the past 15 years were primarily speculative, philosophical, and somewhat promotional character, but did not include new, sound, workable principles or methods for realizing such results. But a lot of people around that time were like, really?
See, there's the weasel words right there. You don't cite a source, you say a lot of people. That's how you keep the conspiracy
that's
moving
like
forward.
that Tucker Carlson. Some people are saying,
You know.
God.
So it's the left wants you to do this, but Tucker Carlson. The elites.
You looked through all of Tesla's stuff and found nothing? Now, it makes total sense. If you did find something, especially like time travel, which Tesla said he was pretty close to figuring out. According to him, he already had machines working and
No. Where?
What?
Lies. Where are you getting this from? You're just making this part up. See, that's how a conspiracy theory gets its claws in.
Dr. Tapp presents something. What did
You
you say?
The interview with John Trump. Yeah. I don't know. This girl's not doing it for me.
But she's citing for a lot of people, right? That's her source now. We have a lot of people as sources. It's kind of like in the Bible where you get the 500.
Yeah.
She has a lot of sources.
Yeah, I still can't hear that. There's still no sound on it. I don't know what's up with it. Hey, that monkey for banana. Good to see you.
Oh, monkey for banana.
Hey.
And he was already kind of going back and forth, is what he was saying. And I mean, who knows, right?
Now who knows? Wait, chick, what's your source? What did your source say? You have a lot of them, remember?
But if there was something there, why would they turn it over to the government? It makes complete sense to me that he would have just kept it, especially if there was something juicy in there about how to time travel. So of course this leads people to think that Donald Trump has time traveled here, and this isn't as crazy of a theory as you may think it is.
Really? So, because what do you want to bet that her only source is that children's book?
Oh wait, are we going to see the children's book again?
I don't know. Let's see.
How is it not that crazy? Like, I still have not seen proof of time machine.
Yeah, there better be something more to this than a freaking book that.
I mean, can I get a picture of a DeLorean? Something like we're just like.
When I was a kid, the DeLorean came to the mall here. You could take your picture with it.
Cool. Could you time travel in it like you were Donald Trump?
No.
Damn it.
I should have asked. I didn't ask.
And I'm not saying it's true, because there's definitely not enough evidence to say that or anything close.
I'm not saying it's aliens,
but very interesting. A huge part of this theory is time traveling backwards. There were a series of books that were written a long time ago. You can look them up.
I was hoping you were not right.
Lockwood. And these books are from right around the time where Nikola Tesla came to the United States.
I'm going to speed her up just a little bit.
Which was, I think, maybe even the same year or within a couple of years of when he went to the United States. And when you hear about these books, you're just not even going to believe it. I was shocked when I saw this. One of them is called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, and there was another book called The Last President, and it's a sequel to the first one. These books are totally legit. You can see them at the Library of Congress. If you didn't know, Trump's son is named Barron, and a lot of people think that Barron has autism. I don't think it's ever been confirmed or anything, and I'm not saying it's true. But
all right, I'm opposed to anybody diagnosing a child that you only see
I know.
media footage
look at
of.
This face. Is this the face of autism? Diagnose it right now on the spot.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
There he does look a lot like his dad, though.
Why? Because he's scowling?
The mouth, the way his mouth is kind of pursed in his chin.
Well, it looks like his dad looks when he looks at a poor person.
Yeah.
But that's pretty widely discussed. And being someone who actually, I took an entire class on autism alone in the entire spectrum, I always kind of thought maybe it's possible he's somewhere on the spectrum. But according to this theory, it's possible he has time traveled, which has made him a little off. In the book, it's kind of confusing. The character Baron, I don't think his name.
What's that? There's a lot
About
of
Baron's time
ableism here.
traveling. Like
Yeah.
where do they hail from? Like I still haven't, maybe she's gonna mention this, but like where are
Yeah.
they, like when was he actually born? Where, how is he, like, I mean, because memory serves, like I've seen pictures of Donald Trump about the age he should be, like at the, and they're like, here's Trump, going into, like, with the bone spurs, so he can't go into the military, and
hmm
here's Trump running for president, and here's Trump trying to get 5 black men murdered for no reason at all, and like he looks age appropriate for for each of those
Each
stages.
generation, yeah.
So like I'm trying to figure out, like, when we're missing a decade of Trump, why it can't be this one, and he's traveling to some other time. Like, when did he just go back in time to, like, have his son, like, be featured in a book, and then
Right. Let's go back in time, have a children's book written about you, and then
yeah,
we're
and
gonna
then we're gonna
go.
go back up here and terrorize more black people. I don't understand when
Is
any of
Baron,
this
I
was supposed to happen.
Yeah, let's see. I hope she explains it because the last video did not.
think his name is Trump, but he's a Baron Trump. Like that was like used as a description word. And there's also a main character named Don, which obviously is pretty freaking weird. But I did look into.
It's a title, not a description word. Just it's an honorary. Is it honorary or is it official? It might be official.
Yeah, yes.
A little more, and I guess it's the same as like in the Spanish language, Don is used as like a name of respect, like Mr. like Don Julio is all I can think of right now. So I don't know if it quite meant Donald, but it is super weird. Baron Trump and
I don't blame her for that. I get you, girl.
Don are the main characters in this book, and that's totally true. Now, it gets even weirder. The book takes place, actually, in the beginning of it, in Russia. In the book, there's also a Fifth
Oh.
Avenue hotel in New York City. It's not called Trump Tower or anything, but guess what? Trump Tower is on Fifth Avenue in New York, the exact same street. And the other book is literally called The Last President, which is scary. And that's what Baba Vanga, if you remember from my Baba Vanga video, which I'll link below, she said that Barack Obama would be the last president, which clearly didn't happen, but maybe it's in another sense we don't understand. The story actually.
Yeah, I haven't covered Baba Vanka that yet, but maybe I should.
I'm actually, yeah. She was interesting. She in the what do you call it? In the New Age community, had a lot of credibility.
Yeah, she was. I never like looking into. I never got the impression that she was like a grifter or anything like that.
No,
That was like the
but
old Mother Shipton predictions too. Do you know that? Do you know who that is?
mm-mm.
No,
Is she like a
that's some country.
Nostradamus or?
Yeah, she's in the UK, but
Uh,
you know. All right, let's see. This has. I'm gonna speed it up just a little bit more and see if we can get through. Just at least get through this part of it, because it's divided into sections.
okay.
She's gonna give him something about Hitler up here, which I don't
John
know.
Hitler.
Yeah.
Begins in New York City with a scene of uprise and panic after an election in November. And the people are angry, police are trying to control them, they're saying down with the rich and the
An election in November. What?
Oh wow. When does that ever happen?
I mean, it is like eerily similar to Donald Trump. Here's part of the book. The entire east side is in a state of uproar. Police officers shouted through the streets, warning city folk to stay indoors for the night. Mobs of vast size are organizing under the lead of anarchists and socialists and threaten to plunder and despoil the houses of the rich who have wronged and oppressed them for so many years. The Fifth Avenue Hotel will be the first to feel the fury of the mob. And that's literally the address of where Trump Tower is.
Wow.
If only that had actually happened.
Yeah, too soft. We went too soft and Trump got
saying.
elected. They went too soft when Biden got elected to do what they wanted to do too, though, which I'm grateful for, because if they had managed to do what they wanted to on the
I don't know that they did. I think they were just like completely inept. And if they had seen anybody, like it would have been like lights out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like bizarre. Screw our president.
Looters. So it's like, remember when Donald Trump was elected?
Hmm.
It was crazy because it was like the first time that we'd ever had, like the modern world had ever witnessed or experienced the consequences of civil unrest when the voice of the people was silenced. It's like that was the first time it ever happened, ever.
I mean,
And
yeah,
there,
they just blocked traffic for a few hours. It wasn't anything like this.
this is just riot footage.
Well, I do applaud her for not only using black people.
And it's
Yeah,
like, yeah,
well, I want to say that yeah, riots and stuff like this have been going on since
Oh, forever, yeah.
the dawn of time. It's not, oh, this is a sign of the end times or whatever narrative they try to spin with this conspiracy
there's a
theory,
lot of like little coincidences, but
the
all of them,
last
to be
Well,
honest,
president and
seem
all
pretty
I
that.
mean, I
random.
really do want to applaud her for that because, like, every time Fox News does rioting, or not even,
Mhm.
it's always just like black people.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I don't
so
think that she's necessarily like a Trumper, like a conservative. I think she just like maybe like
she sounds kind
Biden's
of
blue.
conservative.
Yeah, maybe.
Dawn character, there's a Trump character. In fact, it's Baron Trump, the same name as little Baron Trump,
Mm.
the same address, the fact that it's a president, the fact that it's an election, that people are angry. I mean, it shows like so many things. I mean, the book is pretty out there though. I mean, there's other things in it that are ridiculous, like giant turtles and battling them, traveling through alternate dimensions, which, you know, is definitely possible though. A battle with a big white crane, a dog named Bulger, and a little smiling man frozen in time. I don't know, guys. This whole thing is just gives me the creeps. So those are the books. And you know, these books came out a long time ago, the end of the 1900s. So way before Donald Trump was born or Baron Trump. Okay, so now we have to talk about John Titor. In 2000, actually, there was a man named John Titor. I don't know if it's Titor, Teeter, I don't know. John Titor showed up
Oh,
on
it's like
internet forums
Teeter.
back in 2000. And keep in mind, the internet's pretty fresh in 2000, so there weren't that many people online. And this was an actual thing that happened. There really was a guy named John who claimed to be a time traveler that was going around online forums and telling people about what was happening in 2036, which is the year that he came from. He said that he was a soldier and he lived in a world of political corruption and basically nuclear waste. And he even claimed, and this is back in 2000, that the world would be run by ISIS at that point. So he came back in time to tell everyone. Now, of course, this could have just been someone fucking with people on the internet, like absolutely.
It
Yes,
could.
it was.
It
It wasn't.
absolutely could.
This was actually started with Art Bell, the Coast to Coast AM. You know, where he has the call-in show where people call and tell stories
Art
about
Bell. I
UFOs
don't think
and
I'm familiar.
Bigfoots. Yeah, it's he's a it was a radio show. It was kind of inspirational to the Cryptic Corner segment I do and the stuff I talk about there because they cover a lot of the topics. They'll do like on Halloween they do a ghost to ghost AM and they have people call in and tell go and talk about ghost experiences. But I think it's still ongoing. Art Bell's not associated with it anymore. He did have some. What was this? He had his own radio show after that called Something in the Desert, like Midnight in the Desert.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if that's still going on or not, but I always liked it. There was some of the more famous out there cases that hit the mainstream came from there, like Mel's Hole. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Um,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. That's well, I'll have to talk about some of these things, bring those people's attention. But tonight is not that night. Let's go on.
But this guy did know some things and predicted some things. And he claimed that he was just stopping in 2000 for personal reasons and to warn people, but was actually headed back to 1975. And after a little while, John completely disappeared from the internet and hasn't been heard from since. My goal is not to be believed. Perhaps I should let you all in on a little secret. No one likes you in the future. This time period is looked at as being full of lazy, self-centered, civically ignorant sheep. Perhaps you should be less concerned about me and more concerned about that. He also gave some predictions. One of them was
I mean,
a
that's been
secret
all of
function that
history,
was on a
though.
computer.
Yeah,
Just
young
saying.
whippersnackers.
Well, I mean, for like
Oh,
most of human history, we weren't even allowed to vote. So, I mean,
yeah. Well, it's like so. Usually, the previous generation is going to be looking at the newer generation is lazy and entitled, and then the for
well,
what
yeah,
they things are.
that actually
Um,
has been a staple of human
yeah,
history.
but
computer, the IBM 5100. This was a new computer at the time, and he claimed there was a secret function on it where anything could be translated to like any language. And he claimed that the company was keeping it under wraps to avoid competition finding it and basically stealing the idea. No one knew how to access it. People tried for a while, and then in 2004, once John had disappeared from the internet, the company IBM actually came forward and told everyone about this secret function, and that it's been there the whole time. And John also had like a symbol that he would always share from the future. I don't know if it's just time traveling or what.
I'll have to look into that too. I don't know anything about the IBM prediction.
Yeah,
John
and the chat
Peter.
is saying something about Apologia doing a segment on Coast to Coast.
Yeah, I think I've seen Apologia do some Art Bell responses live. Watch it. Does he watch Midnight in the Desert? The chat has spoken. What are you on about, Spooky? Spooky's trying to stir things up.
Oh yeah, it's spooky.
Toast to toast. Was that diagram AC unit or time machine? Yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't it?
But it's just kind of an interesting design. And then in one of his posts, he just randomly wrote the question, care to share with me how you solved the overheating problem on your space plane? Space plane, very interesting. No one knew what he was talking about, and he basically was just like, well, wait and find out. And in 2003, as most of you probably know, the Columbia was a spaceship, and they had 7 crew members, and the spaceship exploded due to overheating.
Columbia began its descent back to Earth, and these are pictures of their last moments.
I don't know if anybody ever called it a space plane, though.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of reaching.
GNC flight, everything looked good to you? Control and rates and everything is nominal, right?
Control's been stable, you have good trims. I don't see anything out of the ordinary.
I've just lost 4 separate temperature transducers on the left side of the vehicle, hydraulic return temperatures.
In Columbia, Houston, we see your tire pressure messages, and we did not copy.
Is it
your
instrumentation, Max?
Flight Max are also off.
Columbia, Houston, com check.
He's sort of just like known as an internet hoax because he predicted some things that were wrong. For example, he predicted that there would be civil war in America in 2004. That didn't happen. He predicted that mad cow disease would spread all over the world and would force them to cancel the Olympics. That didn't happen. A lot of people who actually believe John and really believe everything he said,
COVID.
Think that those things didn't happen because he warned people in time. So I don't really know. It definitely could have just been someone screwing around on the internet. What's really interesting about it.
Yeah, it's weird that she doesn't mention Art Bell because that's where it all comes from.
Really?
Yeah.
That is weird.
But the site, my chat knows about Art Bell, yeah, obviously.
Clearly.
So
I don't know where
there's a
I've
Hive.
been. No, I don't know where I've been. Apparently, everybody knows about Art Bell except me.
Yeah, well, the fact that you and Dr. Tapioca Weasel have been covering some aliens and stuff like that lately. Yeah, it seems like Art Bell might be something worth poking your nose into a little bit and seeing if it's
I'll check it out.
something to be interested in. Yeah, it'd be audio podcast though, but I don't know. Failed predictions. One hit for 47 misses. That's exactly how it goes. And then you draw a target around the hit.
Oh, is that what Art Bell is?
No, not Art Bell.
Okay.
Art Bell's I guess a skeptical wanna-believer.
Okay.
Which I used to be a skeptical wanna-believer, but I'm not anymore. I'm a skeptical non-believer these days.
So is he like Brian Forrester, or what does he do?
Yeah. Well, he does that. He has people call in and do segment. Or they'll do reports on weird things that happen, like I saw a UFO, and then all this stuff follows afterwards. There was a woman who claimed she got abducted in her backyard, and yeah. Things like that. Mel's Hole was this guy that found this hole in his backyard. It just goes on and on forever and ever. And you can throw dead animals in there and they'll come back alive.
Oh, like Pet Cemetery?
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. What was this crazy person saying?
Huh?
What was this crazy person saying?
This one for
Mel? In the video, yeah.
John Teeter. I don't know why it says John Hitler on here.
Oh, yeah, she can't spell.
For someone with three some million
subs,
subscribers.
Somebody would have noticed. and said something.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe
when he was writing all these posts online, he said that he was creating a new timeline because when you travel into the past, it creates a new timeline entirely. And this is when we get into start talking about like alternate dimensions and alternate realities. So he said his reality was different than ours. So it's possible that some of the things he said were going to happen did happen in another timeline, but we're in something new altogether.
Well, that's convenient.
That's what the Marvel universe went and did. They decided that each different timeline would be its own universe, right?
Like, well, you had all these predictions, Maya. What happened? Oh, well, that wasn't in this timeline. Oh.
Yeah, only the ones that happen were from this timeline. The ones that don't happen are from another timeline. It's a self-correcting system.
Crazy thought. Now, in case you haven't already figured it out, there are a lot of people out there that think that John Titor, whoever this guy is, was actually Donald Trump. The way that they talked is very similar, very brash and aggressive, and sort of like angry and know-it-all-y. So very similar. Obviously, we have no.
When she said a lot of people here, she means people on Reddit, because that's where this thing hit the fan at and started splattering all over the internet.
Real proof that it was Donald Trump, but it's very interesting to think about. So the theory basically goes that John went into the future, tried to change things, or Trump went into the future and tried to change things, was unsuccessful, and came back and realized the only way to change the world and save the world from Islamic extremism and ISIS was to come back and run for president, beat Hillary Clinton, and save the world. So there you have it. So obviously there's not a lot of truth for this, but there's just so many truth nuggets within this that are very interesting. One thing that's really interesting is that Trump, during all his...
Did you hear any truth nuggets? I feel like that my plate was empty of any nuggets of truth.
I mean, it's just
there may be some kernels, nuggets though.
Holy shit! Like, oh my god, like, I don't even know where to start. It's just.
Yeah, there was a book about a book series about Baron Trump. There was then there was a president named Donald Trump with a son named Baron. And Nikola Tesla talked about time travel in his late years, and John Trump looked at his stuff after he died. That's where all this is coming from. I haven't heard anything beyond those connections, beyond saying, hey, this stuff is all connected, but there's no more. It's like me saying, well, it has to be true because look, Dr. Tapioca Weasel's in our live chatting. His family is associated with John Trump, so therefore it has to be true. That's what that's like. It's like that saying, because these people are connected through just some.
I just think they have too much to do.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you look over here, you see this. If you look over there, you see that. What if? And then all of a sudden that becomes a fact. So, I mean, it's just so crazy to me.
His interviews for a long time would talk about his Uncle John, and he really never talked about how he helped cancer patients or did anything else. Trump always talks about how his uncle told him about nuclear war and told him about nuclear before nuclear was nuclear.
Does he?
Is it possible that John Trump went to the future and saw things? Maybe John Trump was John Teeter. I mean, that could make sense too. But he literally always talks about how his uncle told him about nuclear war. In fact, listen to this quote. He would
But didn't John Teeter supposed to be from the future, not the past?
tell me there are things that are happening that could potentially be so bad for the world in terms of weaponry. He would tell me many years ago the power of weapons someday, and that the destructive force of these weapons would be so massive that it's going to be scary to the world. And what's odd about it is, like, that one statement...
Everybody said that, though. Was that a novel? Or was everybody saying that?
Is that not now? Do we not have doomsday weapons now?
Okay, so back after we dropped a bomb in Hiroshima, like... people were freaking the fuck out. Like, I remember seeing cartoons for like little kids. Like it was on everybody's mind. Like, we were going to do like nuclear war, and we were all going to die. Like, that's all anybody thought about for decades. Like, this isn't new. And it would have been like around the time that he was a little boy. So I mean, having this ingrained in your head, like. Yeah, I mean, that was the norm. I don't understand.
We can never be finished with him, Mark. It's a stable time loop.
Oh, God. I mean, I understand she's too young. Like, she wouldn't have lived through all that. But, like...
Yeah.
Does this strike you as novel information?
No, and anybody that was talking to the older generation, to the wartime generation throughout the 50s, 60s, and 70s was going to get the horrors of war and the nuclear menace. And
they had drills where they I mean, frequently, where they had to like get under their desk to shield them from a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, which is
Um, yeah.
just not going to.
There's no one alive that had to go that lived through that. That like you could be in the throes of dementia, you still remember that shit. I it's not something that leaves you. So I mean, like if that's how you grew up, like yeah, it stays with you, and you're gonna say this to people, and
Yeah, and I know that we want to be done with him, but Trump's never till he's in his grave. He's never going to not be a threat, right? I mean, did you hear that? Did you people hear the speech he made about outlawing gender affirming treatment for all people?
hard to get around that. Yeah, it was
That includes
everywhere.
Bree.
Yeah,
Includes me. Hi. So please don't let Trump become president, America people. I don't want to go back. I don't want to.
I don't know. Like all this Bob Price has been like yesterday and today, and I understand that people want to forgive him because they like watching him, but I'm thinking, maybe
Yeah.
we don't like I don't know. Like I saw the thing today and I'm just like, okay, I am very concerned that he doesn't seem to want to give up Tucker Carlson. That's highly concerning to me. Being black as and a woman, as well. I mean, and being trans, I know is scarier than that. But like,
Well,
I get nothing out of this either. And I'm like, I need fewer right wingers. Um, and I don't know. What I really hated hearing was like people talking about, oh, he got canceled. And I'm like, he didn't get canceled. He is out of line with our morals. And people don't watch people who are out of line with their morals. And if you want to try to shame us by using the term canceled, like fuck off with that shit. What is actually happening is that people like that are refusing to believe actual facts. And it is going to end in the death of quite a few Americans. This is important.
yeah, it's going to impact a lot of us. So,
I
yeah.
don't know. And what's that bother me about things like what she's doing? It's like you're putting this man on a pedestal. And again, I don't,
It's
there are a lot of people out
aggrandizing
there like,
a toxic individual that's bad for everybody
right.
involved.
And it's not just Trump, because I think people get too focused on Trump. It's not him. Like, I need to get the focus off of him. It's what is being done. And there's a lot of people like him. And if it's not him, it will be someone else. So, like, we really need to put the focus on what is being said and not like the person or how much we like them or how charismatic they are. And I find a lot of people, even in this community, it's just like, oh, well, they're really nice to me, or, we need to think grander. Yeah, just
Raise
grander.
the bar. Yeah,
Right. We need to think about what's in the best interest of all, not just, whether or not we personally are going to be affected by, said person.
right. I think this is probably a good place to stop. I don't think she has too much more of importance to
I,
say.
yeah, the whole, Trump was, came here to save us from Hillary Clinton. Like if Hillary Clinton were here, we'd have the Supreme Court would be a liberal utopia.
Yeah, Hillary
So she
Clinton
can
was an
fuck off
awful
with that shit.
person. Yeah, but
I mean, okay, yeah, sure, but they all are, right? And I'm not trying to minimize
right,
how horrible she is. But like she's made the same mistakes as any man who certainly almost all the men that were running up against her, because they all voted for the same shit. They all, corporate money. They all, they're all going to do all the things. But I mean, having a liberal Supreme Court, I don't think we've ever had that. And
yeah,
it would have made a lot of difference, like, in, the fight for trans rights, the fight for women's rights, the fight for workers' rights, um, not, being on the brink of fascism. It's just, me feeling like, I mean, I used to like, I'm a registered independent, and I used to always vote like, I would vote for either Green or Libertarian because I just wanted to see an extra party. And you're not really voting for a person when they're not like being represented. What you're voting for is the party. And I wanted to get the party on the ticket, so that we could start seeing better candidates come from the parties. And just like an extra party, like, God, we only have two. This is insane. Um, but the issue is like, now I feel like I'm stuck having to vote Democrat because I'm either
Yeah.
voting Democrat or for my own death. There's, anything not Democrat is voting for my own demise. And so it's just like, I hate being in this situation. And I could just go back to the status quo if there was a not Trump. And the problem with there having been a Trump is that he, what do you call it? Like put it, it really moved us a lot more. I can't even
Shift
say
our
just
Overton window even further.
to fascism, though. Everybody keeps
Yeah.
calling it conservative. I'm like, the conservatives are not conservatives. The libs are conservatives. The conservatives are fascists. Most
Then
Americans
there's
don't
the
see this.
then there's the
Um,
left like me.
yeah, I just, holy, it's insane. Like, I'm not asking for much. I just want people to live and be able to work for a living wage. Um, and
Small
maybe
ask.
throw some healthcare in there. I'm not asking for a lot. It's not a lot. Like, I just want to be able to like work a job and live off the money that I earn from it. But apparently that's asking too much.
Don't be greedy, Maya. All right. Any final words before we close out for the night? We've got this in about a half an hour, or an hour and a half, I mean, so
Oh, is it
almost
an hour and
perfect.
a half? God, that was
Uh-huh.
fast. All right. Trump stance is stupid. Time travel is impossible. Um, hmm. I feel like there's a third point I could drive home here. Help me out.
Yeah, and keeping the spotlight on this douchebag is what got him elected in the first place. So this will probably be the last time I spotlight him. I wanted to bring this up just to point out because I wanted an excuse to point out that he made it very public that he does not want that if he gets elected, it's going to be the end for trans rights in the U.S. It's going to be a monumental slap to everything that we've worked for. So please, we didn't take this guy seriously last time. Look at what happened. I know DeSantis is not any better on the trans stuff, but right now I want to to make it very clear that he publicly announced that he plans to repeal health care for people in my demographic. Basically, it's going to be government sanctioned bigotry towards the trans. As if we don't already have that at this point. But I digress. So please keep that in mind when you're looking at those polls the next time around. All right. Yeah. Please remember to be kind and take care, and we
Oh
will.
yeah, and then everybody make sure if you're watching this that you're subbed, and go
Mhm.
and tell all your friends to run over here and sub, because we are heading towards 1,000.
We are so close at this point. I'm gonna see where we are right this moment because it's been going up and down all day as it does when you get an influx. But it's 9:30 exactly right now. So
Nice.
930.
Right.
Yeah, moving right
We
on
got
up.
out of the Yeah, last time I looked it was like 8:30. So I mean,
Yeah,
you're doing great.
just in the last couple of days we've got I don't know, like 100 or something. Anyway, yeah, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you know when we're going live. We do stuff like this just randomly throughout the week. Just looking at whatever and trying to annoy each other. So, yeah, please remember to take care, be kind. Go subscribe to Maya's channel. She's just got getting started on her channel, so a lot of brightness in the future there. Be kind, take care, and we'll see you next time.